What's up, everyone? Today we're diving into the 5 biggest, most powerful empires in history. These empires controlled vast lands, shaped our world, and their legacies are everywhere, from the languages we speak to the borders on our maps. We'll count down from number 5 to the largest empire ever, exploring how they rose, ruled, and changed history. Get ready for legendary conquerors, epic battles, and mind-blowing stories. Which empire will take the top spot? Let's find out. Let's get into it. Number 5 is the Spanish Empire. In the late 1400s, Columbus sails west, and suddenly Spain is building the first global empire. They claimed huge parts of the Americas, the Caribbean, and even territories in Africa and Asia. At its peak, the Spanish Empire covered over 5 million square miles, bigger than the US and India combined. Their wealth came from mountains of gold and silver shipped from the Americas, transforming Spain and fueling Europe's rise. But this wealth came at a huge cost. Native civilizations were devastated and millions suffered. Spanish culture spread everywhere. Today, hundreds of millions in the Americas speak Spanish. Foods like chocolate and tomatoes went global thanks to their empire. Ruling such a vast territory was a logistical nightmare. Messages took months, so Spain set up viceroys and governors to manage distant lands. They faced constant threats from rivals like England and the Dutch. The defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588 was a turning point, showing Spain could be challenged. Their military, especially the Spanish tercios, dominated Europe for over a century. But endless wars drained their resources, and by the 1800s, colonies fought for independence. One by one, Spain lost its overseas possessions, and the empire faded. Still, the Spanish Empire connected continents and kicked off the first era of globalization. Its legacy is everywhere: language, religion, and culture uniting much of the world. The Spanish Empire truly shaped the modern world. Coming in at number 5, it's a story of ambition, conquest, and lasting influence. From gold-laden galleons to revolutionary uprisings, the Spanish Empire's impact is undeniable. Its rise and fall remind us how power can reshape the globe. The sun finally set on Spain's empire, but its mark remains. Let's move on to number 4. Next up, the dynasty that built modern China. Number 4 is the Qing Dynasty, the last and largest imperial dynasty of China. Founded by the Manchus in the 1600s, they conquered the Ming and expanded China to over 5 million square miles. The Qing ruled a third of the world's population, uniting diverse peoples under one empire. They adopted Chinese customs but kept their own identity, even enforcing the Q hairstyle as a symbol of control. Under emperors like Kangxi and Qianlong, China entered a golden age, conquering Taiwan, Tibet, Mongolia, and Xinjiang, shaping modern China's borders. The Qing exported tea, silk, and porcelain, creating a global trade powerhouse. But trade imbalances led to the Opium Wars with Britain, and China was forced into humiliating treaties, losing territory and control. Despite turmoil, the Qing era produced incredible art, literature, and architecture, like the Forbidden City. Population boomed, but poverty and famine fueled massive rebellions, including the deadly Taiping Rebellion. By the early 1900s, the dynasty was collapsing under internal strife and foreign pressure. In 1912, the last emperor abdicated, ending over 2,000 years of imperial rule. The Qing's rise and fall set the stage for modern China. Their legacy is seen in China's borders, culture, and global influence today. The Qing dynasty's story is one of conquest, adaptation, and dramatic change. From golden age to revolution, it's a reminder of how empires can both unite and unravel. The end of the Qing marked the dawn of a new era for China. Now, let's head north to the empire that spanned continents. Coming in at number 3, the Russian Empire. Get ready for a journey from Europe to Alaska. Let's go. Number 3 is the Russian Empire, an absolute giant, stretching across 11 time zones from Europe to Alaska. Starting as a small state around Moscow, the Tsars expanded relentlessly, conquering Siberia, Central Asia, and parts of Europe. At its peak, Russia covered nearly 1/6 of the world's land. Peter the Great modernized Russia, built St. Petersburg, and created a navy, pushing Russia onto the world stage. Catherine the Great expanded further, defeating the Ottomans and absorbing huge territories in Europe. The empire was a patchwork of over 100 ethnic groups, ruled through a policy of Russification. Life was marked by extremes, opulent nobility, and millions of serfs living in poverty. Russia's victory over Napoleon made it a European powerhouse, but defeat in the Crimean War exposed its weaknesses. The emancipation of the serfs in 1861 freed millions, but didn't solve deep social problems. Revolutionary movements grew, and World War I pushed the empire to the brink. In 1917, the Tsar abdicated, ending 3 centuries of Romanov rule. The Russian Empire dissolved into civil war, paving the way for the Soviet Union. Its legacy, vast territory, cultural diversity, and a history of dramatic change. The Russian Empire's rise and fall shaped Eurasia and the modern world. From Siberian frontiers to European capitals, its story is one of ambition and upheaval. The empire's collapse marked the end of an era and the start of a new one. Now let's meet the world's greatest conqueror. Coming in at number 2, the Mongol Empire. Prepare for lightning-fast conquest and global impact. Let's ride. Number 2 is the Mongol Empire, the largest land empire ever, built at lightning speed by Genghis Khan. In the early 1200s, Genghis Khan united the Mongol tribes and unleashed a military juggernaut across Asia and Europe. The Mongol army's horsemen and archers revolutionized warfare, conquering China, Persia, Russia, and beyond. Their tactics, feigned retreats, psychological warfare, and brutal efficiency crushed empires that had stood for centuries. At its peak, the Mongol Empire stretched from the Pacific to Europe, covering 9 million square miles. After Genghis Khan, his descendants split the empire into 4 khanates, ruling vast regions. The Pax Mongolica brought stability and safety to the Silk Road, boosting trade and cultural exchange between East and West. Technologies like gunpowder and the compass traveled from China to Europe, transforming the world. The Mongols were surprisingly tolerant of religions, allowing churches, mosques, and temples to coexist. But the empire's size made it hard to govern, and the khanates drifted apart. The Black Death spread along Mongol trade routes, devastating populations and hastening the empire's decline. The Mongol Empire's rise and fall redrew the map and connected civilizations like never before. Its legacy, global trade, cultural exchange, and a reminder of how quickly power can shift. From nomadic tribes to world conquerors, the Mongols changed history forever. Now let's reveal the biggest empire of all time. Coming in at number 1, the British Empire. Get ready for a story of global domination. Let's set sail. The number 1 spot goes to the British Empire, the largest and most influential empire in history. At its peak in the early 1900s, it covered over 13 million square miles, nearly a quarter of the world's land. The British ruled over 450 million people, with territories on every continent. The Royal Navy was the key, defeating rivals and controlling global trade routes. The empire grew over centuries, starting in the Americas and Caribbean, then shifting focus to India, the jewel in the crown. The British East India Company conquered the subcontinent, making India a massive source of wealth and manpower. In the 1800s, Britain expanded into Africa, Canada, Australia, and Southeast Asia, painting the world map pink. The British Empire spread the English language, legal systems, and infrastructure, railways, ports, and telegraphs that still shape countries today. But this came at a huge cost: conquest, exploitation, and the drawing of borders that sparked conflicts still felt today. The 2 world wars drained Britain's resources, and independence movements swept through the colonies. After World War II, Britain began decolonization, granting independence to India, Pakistan, and dozens of nations in Africa and the Caribbean. The handover of Hong Kong in 1997 marked the end of the empire. Today, its legacy lives on in the Commonwealth, the global spread of English and parliamentary systems worldwide. The British Empire's impact is everywhere, shaping language, culture, and geopolitics. For sheer size and influence, it stands as the greatest empire in history. From London to Delhi, Cape Town to Sydney, its story is one of ambition, innovation, and controversy. The empire's rise and fall changed the world forever. Its legacy is complex, but its reach was unmatched. The British Empire, the sun never set, and its mark endures. That's our countdown. Now let's wrap up. And there you have it, the 5 largest empires in history, each leaving a mark on our world. They built connections, spread ideas, and shaped the modern age, but also caused conflict and suffering. Their stories remind us of the heights and dangers of human ambition. Empires rise, dominate, and fall, but their legacies live on in our languages, borders, and cultures. Which empire fascinated you most? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey, hit like and subscribe for more epic history. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. History's biggest empires, forever changing the world.